Hello, everybody. Glad to be back with you. This is Cynthia Allen, and I am a Feldenkrais practitioner, a senior trainer in movement intelligence, co-creator of Integral Human Gait Theory, and the creator of the Feldenkrais Awareness Summit. And as you might be able to tell, I'm doing a little bit of branding right now. Move Better, Feel Better, the Feldenkrais Awareness Summit that's coming up in less than 2 days, May 1st, really fast now, super fast. We're excited and psyched, totally psyched out. I hope that you're joining me at the summit. I'll just pop that up that you want to join at feldenkraissummit.com, feldenkraissummit.com. And I also hope you're going to join me on this broadcast and maybe ask some questions. And you can do that if you're over on Facebook. Just register with StreamYard first, so I'll be able to see who's asking the question. Or if you're on YouTube, where we're streaming live right now, you can also do the same thing. So exciting. And I would love to have you here. And hope I'll see a few comments from you soon. But I said that I wanted to talk not just about the summit, but a little bit about sort of the hallmarks of the Feldenkrais method. Somebody just asked me to write an article or a small paragraph about what I thought was the legacy of Moshe Feldenkrais. And, for me, the hallmarks of the Feldenkrais method are really fourfold. So curiosity, experimentation, observation, and refinement. Now, let's take a look at those a little bit, because right off the bat, you might be thinking, hey, I'm just coming to move better and feel better. I don't know what that's got to do with anything. That's legitimate. It does sound sort of like you just need to show me what to do. I'll do it and I'll get better. But most of you that are coming to the summit or seek out the Feldenkrais method are seeking it out because the approach of someone showing you what to do, you do it, has not given you everything you hoped. Maybe it gave you some relief, maybe it gave you some potential, but you've also run into some kinds of roadblocks. So I'd like to talk about these for a little bit before I talk a little bit more about the summit. So let's take that first one, curiosity. So Moshe Feldenkrais said that the most important human skill there was to have for survival was curiosity. Well, why? Well, we can see early on that children are learning through their curious nature, both playfulness and curiousness. And we can also probably see that if you want to solve unsolvable problems, things that you think, hey, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this fix, you need curiosity. If you don't have curiosity, you would continue to do exactly the same thing that you've done. So let's suppose that you were trapped inside a space, right? And normally you would open the door and go out. So you just keep trying to open the door and go out, open the door and go out, open the door and go out. You don't look around at all. You don't wonder, I wonder why that door doesn't open the way it used to. You don't wonder, hey, is there any other possible way to get out besides this door? You don't wonder what tools are in the room to help you get outside the door. You don't wonder what would happen if you would use your voice or not use your voice. You can see that if you have no wondering, no curiosity, you are going to be in quite a pickle. So curiosity is a staple of working with what appear to be unsolvable problems. Now, many, many people come to the Feldenkrais method with what I would call a perception of unsolvable problems, right? They have a pain or a difficulty or a disease process that just seems like, hey, there's nothing, there's no options here. I've tried medication, I tried surgery, I tried a lot of things. I didn't get anywhere. You could even also, though, for sure, look at this like for a high-performing athlete, somebody who's up against something where they're trying to break through a barrier, they're trying to make past a particular problem, like say in their swing, their tennis or golf swing, or maybe there's some way in which the hockey puck keeps getting past them at the goalie, or they're not as agile to be responsive to the puck coming towards them on the left or the right or at certain angles. These are kind of like unsolvable problems. And you need the curiosity to even begin to want to solve them. I mean, you clearly you don't want to be stuck, but you need the skill of curiosity to be able to solve them. Now, right following this skill of curiosity, this sort of thing of asking, what if I did this, or what if it was possible to solve this problem? What if? And how would I do that? If I ask the question, then how would I do it? Then right behind that is experimentation. Now, in the Feldenkrais method, we guide the experiments for students because it's not always simple to create your own movement experiences that help you to illuminate those blind spot or stuck points. So we do this through awareness through movement. In the physical, in the movement, more we call the group classes, the verbally guided classes. And within the instructions are embedded the necessity for the student to experiment. Now, some students will go, hey, just again, tell me what to do and show me how to do it, because that's what they've been so ingrained to. So if you're coming to the summit, you're going to get and this is a first experience with you, you're going to get a lot of opportunities to go, okay, those instructions seemed not clear to me. I'm not quite sure what to do. And you'll get this opportunity to ask, well, what if I did something? What if I just allowed myself to interpret and induce something? And then maybe I'll get enough feedback from my own observation, point number 3, observation, to point number 4, make a refinement. Now, in this observation, when we get into the areas of like, well, how do we observe? Well, we're not talking about the visual observation, really. And that's what we're kind of used to. We're used to watching someone else, and then we try to copy it. We may even work with ourselves in the mirror. We're used to the visual observation. And right now on all of these Zoom type sessions where we see ourselves constantly, it's really funny. We've been using Google Meet for some of our things, or Teams, a version of Teams video for our staff meetings as well. And then I did Google Meet with a couple people getting ready for the summit the other day. And they're like, well, where am I? I see only you and the other person, the 2 people in the meeting that aren't me. And Google Meet and our Teams video application thinks you don't need to see yourself because you're not meeting with yourself. You're meeting with other people. What a novel idea, right? I just think it's so funny how quickly we got used to staring at ourselves all the time. So it's not really a visual observation, though, is my point. I got a little sidetracked there. It's not really a visual observation. Even when you're doing the lessons in the Feldenkrais Summit, you can stop and maybe check to see what's happening on the gallery view once in a while. But really, it's not about doing it right. It's about this curiosity, this experimentation, and then going, what kind of feedback am I getting from my own internal sense? So we're growing sensation. Observation is sensing, feeling through kinesthesia, through proprioception, through emotionally. Do I like that? Do I not like that? Did that feel elegant? Did that feel clunky? Did that feel like, man, I would never want to do that again? Did that hurt, right? There was a strain. Did I hold my breath? These are all elements of observation. Very much about this internal clarity, clarifying for yourself. And then there's also then, as the instructions go on from the teacher, you'll sometimes get more clarity by listening to their words more clearly, or they change their words and their words become clearer because, we're all different. We all interpret words. We all not only have different bodies, but we interpret words differently. We may hear accents differently. The pause or the emphasis might sound different one time to the next, but also it can be a lot of information to take in. So that refinement of the language that the teacher uses can be very, very helpful. Now, so we're curious, we experiment, we observe, and then we refine. Now, some of that refinement just happens automatically because your nervous system wants to upgrade. I mean, the human nervous system is all about really, I think, wanting to upgrade, especially if it senses that this has something to do with being comfortable and easier, or something to do with the ability to flee or fight, which is basically walking or running, getting ready to act quickly, or being able to calm down quickly. So that it's very interested in what we call the 4 Fs. So feeding, fleeing, fighting, and then reproduction. So I call this, wanting to be food, being able to get food, and if you're really lucky, getting to choose your own mate, right? We want those 4 Fs. So I'm really excited for you to get to experience this. And for some of you that again are new, your first lesson might be like, wow, this is for me. Maybe you've already tuned in and done a lesson in the coming up time with other people or myself. And others of you will go, I'm not sure this is for me. This seems really odd. This seems really weird. And I just encourage you to still remain curious. One of the really cool things about this experimentation and observation is we're basically doing like a whole giant series of case studies. And you're the participant, but you're also the scientist. And you're the organic matter that we're going to observe, and you're the scientist. I think that's incredible. You're going to observe yourself, and while you're observing yourself, you change. While you're observing yourself, you change. That's very neat. And that's what I love about this work. So, hey, then on May 1st, gosh, I hope this is airing because it sure is quiet. So on May 1st, 24 hours of Feldenkrais, starting at 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. On the hour throughout, we will be having a teacher. There will be 22 different teachers with 22 different lessons. And also there will be a keynote at noon with the Metaphor with live question and answers after that. So pretty exciting. Oh, well, actually at 12 noon, it's an opening party. So just a little 10-minute opening party where we count down, throw up our arms, throw up some confetti together, really get excited about the fact that we're online and doing it, and going to be hanging out together with each other for at least 10 days, and then, or parts of 10 days. And then that continues on with lessons. Those lessons will be available throughout the entire summit. So you can watch them on replay. You won't do 24 lessons that day. You might do 2 or 3 at the most, okay? And then we have days 2 through 10, and we're covering a different theme each day. And I just want to kind of cue you into those themes. We're doing original breath, which is going to be exploring breath from the point of view of James Nestor, Patrick McCowan, Faria Doctor, and William Hang. A lot of different points of view about breath, really valuable. And then healing trauma, another great track that we're having. And we have 2 people that are not Feldenkrais oriented that'll be talking about it, Albert Wong and Pat Ogden, but they are somatic. That means they are body and emotions. They see the interaction between body, emotion, and movement. And they do a beautiful job. And then we also have Molly Tipping, who will be representing the Feldenkrais perspective, along with that panel discussion. Is going to be really good with Alice Friedman and Buffy Owens. And then we also have active lifestyle, and we have a dancer and a yoga teacher and actually we have two dancers, but one of them's talking about consciousness, and then the panel discussion is two people that have been into Systema and martial arts and Feldenkrais and other forms of being active, Pilates, personal training. And then embodied anatomy, another fabulous topic we get into with the really incredible teacher, John Sharkey and Roger Russell, who's going to really help us understand the Fechner, the Weber-Fechner principle, that the Feldenkrais method is in large part based upon, around less effort equals more results. He's going to really help us understand the science behind that. And Carol Montgomery is going to dig into foot anatomy and nervous system anatomy and how this all works together to relieve foot pain and make our lives much more functional. Also coming, Move Your Brain, and this is really oriented to people in aging, and we are going to cover how moving your brain works with dementia, how it works with emotional intelligence, how it works with active seniors, and yes, we're going to have somebody, Lisa Flanders, who's going to say, hey, you can move outside the box at 70, and I'm going to show you how I did it and how I think the Feldenkrais method allowed me to run for office and win. So that's fun. I love that. Very different. Abilities, dropping the discs. So we want to get into this whole concept that around people who might be defined as having a disability. What is their lives really like, and how can we stop defining them around what they so supposedly can't do? And wonderful speakers with Paul Linden and Elizabeth Ann Straub and so sorry. I'm doing pretty good with my memory, I feel, at the moment on these speakers. But let me get the name that is just, oh yes, of course, I say it all the time, Jackie Katzman and Nate Hansen. And they actually work with athletes or people who are wanting to be athletic, more adventuresome outdoors that have a disability, and using awareness through movement with them. And also all your Summit swag gear that you purchase, all the profits go to Adaptive Sports Partners of North Country, the nonprofit that Nate Hansen represents. Then we've got Language Runs Deep, love it, with Natalie Goldberg. Natalie Goldberg is an incredible author. She just produced a book on haiku called 3 Simple Lines. And she has been using the Feldenkrais method for years. And she's going to talk about this intersection between the two works. We have Zoran Kovic, a Feldenkrais trainer, who is going to help us understand how words are used in awareness through movement in Feldenkrais and to what benefit, or however you want to think about that. And Bernadette Pleasant. And Bernadette comes from a dance empowerment background, and that's what she's going to be helping us understand, is how language can be used to empower, how dance can be used to empower people. Then we have Play, Fun a Day with Stephen Nachmanovich and 2 other Feldenkrais practitioners, and then we get into research. Now, all of these also have panel discussions. So I really just kind of realized I'm kind of going on, and you're probably not that interested in me listing out each one of those. So I'll pause there. Now we have something new this year, and it is a Summit Bingo. And what this is a kind of fun way to help you engage with the content, I'm just going to take that up a little bit closer. So in the traditional bingo that's played in the US anyway, they call off numbers normally, but you're going to actually do 5 things. And when you do 5 things in a row, you will get a chance to enter a drawing for the day. And then there'll be 3 prizes given out for each day. Now, of course, we want you to engage with the summit. So it's not a random game. So some of the things are, things like I did an awareness through movement lesson, or I watched the keynote for day one. But other things are fun and sometimes very highly somatic related and sometimes a little bit off kilter. So, highly somatic related, of course, would be I felt my feet on the ground, or I laughed and felt the muscles of my face change. Something that's a little more simple was I did a session in my pajamas, which I think is a lot of people these days, right? From what we understand. So it's not too hard to engage with the summit and get 5 in a row and enter the contest through our Facebook group. So I think we've got a lot of really fun things planned. A haiku contest. Natalie Goldberg has agreed to judge the haiku contest. She will select the winning haiku. I mean, how cool is that? And of course, we have a theme for that contest, which is around embodiment, around movement, around feeling better, moving better, around the summit. So the haikus will also help you engage with yourself in another way, because writing, creativity, arts, these are really, truly somatic explorations, or they can be, or I think should be. And Natalie makes a great case for that as well. So we have some fun things, light things, and then we have what we know for a lot of you will feel maybe a little bit more serious, because you come with something very specific that you are hoping to get help with. And I think we're really going to be able to deliver on that for you. I think we've seen from past summits and the notes that we receive from people about hope, finding a little ease, finding a different kind of pathway to engage with themselves, because it's not really about the movement. It is about learning how to be curious, how to experiment, how to observe, how to refine. And that loop is the way that you helped form yourself as a child, and how you make the most of your DNA, the most of your environment, these two things together, and then you make the most of it by experimenting with how you move and growing your capacity to sense how you move, so that you have choice, that you don't just keep trying to get out the same door that won't seem to open, right? So I'm thrilled to be with you again. And if you haven't registered, register feldenkraissummit.com. Register feldenkraissummit.com for sure. And I'll see you very soon. It's free, by the way, in case you didn't know that. Free, totally free. You get to watch things up to 48 hours. Most things are up to 48 hours from the original air time. But the movement lessons actually are available for the 10 days of the summit for you to experiment and dip into. Okay, thanks. Bye, everybody. I'll see you soon. feldenkraissummit.com, May 1st.